I'm John, and tonight I want answers about the Epstein files and James Comey. There's no stopping us now, because we're live.
I'm AJ Minnick.
I'm John A. Vink.
I'm Keith Stattenfield.
I'm Loretta Beavers.
I'm Josh Young.
I'm Jennifer Sim. And those stories tonight on John Wants Answers.
They're not looking at us.
I'm AJ
They don't know to
Minnick.
look at us.
I'm John A. Vink.
I'm Keith Stattenfield.
I'm Loretta Beavers.
I'm Josh Young.
I'm Jennifer.
We're gonna wait for the logo. Where's my big face? I want my big face to be here. Wait,
Didn't we see
here.
the big face?
No, there's no big face.
I think we're going to start over.
That's the date.
Yeah?
Where's the music in my big face?
I mean, I bet they're playing the music.
Can they hear it? We can't hear it.
We can't hear the music.
If they
I
are
bet
playing
can
it,
hear the music.
we can't hear it.
And we didn't see a big face.
We don't even have a studio.
This is pretty. If you haven't watched John Wants Answers before, and I know why. I mean, you've got a life. But if you haven't, this is what it's generally like. It's like, I'm here. I don't know why. You're here. I really don't know why. Don't you have a business to run now?
We're going to close at 8. And now it's 8:30.
Like
8:40.
Every movie I watch, like the guy that owns the business, after closing hours, he's sitting at his desk, hunched over. He's got that little hat on. He's got like a pencil behind his ear, that little green visor, and he's just filling out numbers for just hours and hours. That's what business people do.
We have what computers now? The movies you watch are from the 70s or the 60s.
Yeah, they are. But like, what do you do in your business?
Me?
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing.
do you just show up with a coat and say like,
No,
I would like a chicken sandwich, please? And
I
they're
show
like,
up.
Here's your chicken sandwich, sir.
I operate the register myself.
Wow.
So I type into the register, I want a chicken sandwich. And then there's a button. There's a discount button. I press discount.
Yes.
And it has all these discounts listed.
Yes.
And one has my name on it.
Wow, there's a John discount.
And there's I press a John Vink discount, and then the bill just goes away. Poof, poof.
Isn't that like tax fraud?
No. I prepaid for 10 years of barbecue. That's
Did
how I
you?
look at it. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm just,
So
give it
you
back.
paid tax on what you paid for the restaurant.
When I earned the money to buy the restaurant, I paid tax on that.
No, but now you're buying food, and you should pay tax on that food. You're depriving the tax authority of their valuable tax money. How are the tiny little children in kindergarten gonna get their milk if you aren't paying tax money?
I never got milk when I was in kindergarten.
Well, you grew up in Canada.
Yeah.
I grew up in Wisconsin. We got milk every day.
That's because weren't you like a dairy?
Yeah, America's Dairyland.
Yeah.
It's on the license plates and everything.
You had all the milk. You had more milk than you could use.
We did. We had a lot of milk.
Yeah.
Like we would reel butter in school. None of
Did
that
you have-
margarine stuff. Like margarine was illegal when I was young, in Wisconsin.
Illegal.
Yeah.
We only had margarine because my mom was frugal,
Yeah.
so we always had margarine.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't quite illegal. My mom switched my dad to margarine at some point.
I think some states
didn't tell
actually.
him.
Some states were legal. I remember reading that.
Yeah.
That margarine was
It's
illegal.
crazy. Are we doing a show?
We're doing a show.
I mean, I don't care one way or the other.
People tell me, I go, "Hey, you still doing a show?"
Yeah.
And I say, "Oh, clearly you're not watching because we do a show every month."
We do a show every month.
And
Well, we don't have timers gone, so
The
I don't think
people-
we're doing a show.
the people who say they like the show,
Yes.
who actually watch it, say the best part of the show is before we do topics.
Yes.
Us just riffing back and forth.
Riffing back and forth.
And usually it's just you making fun of me.
We should just have a no topic show. Just to like
We had that
things
once.
Keith thinks John does wrong show.
Can you fill a whole show with that?
Oh, I could fill a whole afternoon with that.
Oh, wow. And now
I wouldn't even have to do any prep. I mean, I don't do any prep now, but
Yeah, you don't-
I also wouldn't have to do any prep.
you asked me for the topics.
I
So
did.
you did. Some
Well,
prep.
I asked you for the topics because I want to make sure we have them. I mean, that's the only way I know that you're still going to be here when I show up is I'm like, hey,
I've been here for
are we
15
talking about
years.
things? And you're like, oh, yeah, I should make up some topics.
We've been doing this for 15 years.
I know.
And we've never not had topics.
It's true, we never have not had topics, but also it's probably not very often that I have not had to ask you for the topics.
I used to do the show the day before. So when I had an actual job,
Sure. Back. You have an actual job now. We were just talking about that.
It's not a real job.
Yeah, that's not a real job.
I just walk in, get some free food, and I leave. That's all I do.
Yeah, life is good. Life is good when you're Canadian.
Being Canadian had nothing to do with it.
Probably not. Probably has something to do with it.
Selling Apple stock. That's the key.
That's what had to do
That's
with
how
it.
to do it.
Yeah, that's the mistake I made.
Oh,
I
by the
didn't
way,
sell my stock.
check your calendar.
Yeah.
If it says November 19th, 2025, then we're live.
You're watching the show live.
Or you've seen it.
Watch, someone's going to come in and tell us that we haven't been recording for 10 minutes.
Oh, he's saying we're good. Thumbs up is words on the
We're
street.
not good. That's a value judgment. That needs something. That we're acceptable. Look, November 19th. It says
There
it
it is.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're finally on.
We couldn't put
a
that
roll.
on the screen if it wasn't November 19th.
Laws of physics?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's probably the law. Now,
Now,
we don't want the FCC chairman to get up against us for something.
well, actually, we're protected because we're cable. We're not over the air. It's the airwaves that the FCC cares about.
Aren't we on YouTube?
Yeah.
Can't you watch YouTube on Wi-Fi?
I don't think it works that way. It's only for televisions that got programming off the airwaves, off the
The
bunny ears.
licensed spectrum. Don't make me explain this to you. We don't have time, and we were already not talking about our topics.
Okay. Oh, by the way, we had this contest. We were going to run for governor.
Yeah?
There's a new guy, Tom Steyer, says he's going to run for governor of California.
He's run for governor before, I think.
Do you know him?
I know who he is.
I've never heard of him before.
He's like a billionaire environmentalist.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's not even the newest. Like Eric Swalwell is going to probably run for governor and announce tomorrow.
Oh, he was a representative.
Yeah, he's a congressional representative.
Okay. Is he termed out, or is he not going to win
There's
again?
no termed out in Congress.
Oh, there's no. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Only the president, and even that there. As it turns out.
Well, no. Presently, still, there's a term limit. We don't know until.
It doesn't matter.
3 years.
If a limit doesn't matter, it doesn't matter.
Okay. You getting a text? Anything
Reddit.
good? Oh. Someone watching?
Probably not.
Okay. But our first topic. Oh wait, I didn't introduce you. You're the man who needs no introduction, Keith Stattenfield. Oh, and I'm John Vink. Did I
Yeah.
say that?
And that was technically almost an introduction. But I didn't need it.
Our first topic: Epstein files. Now there's. I think I hear the
Ethereal music, maybe.
Yeah, can't hear in here.
It's been a couple months. Maybe that guy didn't come back.
Did you feed him?
No,
Because
I
you're
thought
done
you were
feeding
going to feed him.
I told you to feed him. I was going on
What?
vacation to Greenland. You have to go and feed him.
Damn. Now
Oh,
I feel bad
no.
about the guy that lives in the tree with the piano.
All right, so there was a vote to release the Epstein files,
Some of the Epstein files.
and it passed with only one no vote.
One no vote.
Who was the one no vote?
Guy from Louisiana, Higgins.
Clay Higgins.
Yeah, Clay Higgins.
Is he a known pedophile?
No, but he's a reserve cop.
What does that mean?
Take what you want from that.
Okay. So originally, the House was reluctant to pass this new legislation to release the files. In fact, all the Democrats had to sign a piece of paper.
So it is hard to get bills introduced and voted out in the House. You generally either have to get a bill referred out of committee with a majority vote, or the Speaker of the House or someone in leadership has to say this is something we should vote on. So some months ago, two representatives, Ro Khanna, who is our
Guy.
Congress guy,
Yeah.
and the guy from Kentucky, M something. It'll come to me in a minute.
You would think those two guys would get together on this.
Yeah, it was very surprising they got together, but they introduced a bipartisan resolution that said, hey, we would really like this voted on. And there's a rule in the House that says if a majority of the House members sign a piece of paper called a discharge petition, it discharges a bill onto the floor of the House. If a total majority of the people serving in the House of Representatives sign the piece of paper, then by House rules, it it gets to get scheduled for a vote within a very short period of time.
So
Congress
imagine all the
is,
Democrats signed up on that.
within reasonably short period of time, all of the Democrats signed said discharge petition. And 4 representatives. Massey is the guy from Kentucky, I believe. And Lauren Boebert from Colorado. And Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia. And someone, the 4th Republican, don't remember who it is. Maybe Nancy Mace from South Carolina. Don't quote me on that. Those 4 signed. Now it was confusing because there was an empty seat in the House that was won by a woman from Arizona about 2 months ago. And Johnson refused to swear her in. So technically it was tied at that point. 233 to 233 or whatever it was. And then the government shutdown ended, and Johnson was pretty much out of options. He had to swear her in because you got to swear people into Congress 2 months after they've been elected. And then she was the last Democrat to sign it that pushed it over. There was some lobbying by the administration to try to get some of those folks to take their names off. That didn't happen. So
Did the Arizona lady flip a seat when she won?
I believe she did flip a seat. But also, I'm not certain about that. She might have won where her... I don't remember.
Okay. It's interesting that Bobart and Green were the 2 to sign up for that, because they're usually...
They are very
MAGA.
pro-MAGA Trump.
Right.
But also very anti-pedophile, somewhat QAnon, deep state. We got to
Wait.
fight back against those guys.
Are they pro-QAnon, which means they're anti-pedophile?
Yes.
Does that mean all the other Republicans were pro-pedophile?
That's a value judgment that you can make on your own at home.
Okay.
Probably some of them.
So once they got the vote to bring to the floor,
Yes.
then they all voted for it.
As it turns out, every Republican, again, except Higgins, decided to vote for it because they did not want to have a vote on the record. I don't think we should release information about a dead pedophile that would help us find other pedophiles.
Right. And so then that passed overwhelmingly.
Passed the House very quickly.
then there's a question with the
apparently there
Senate.
were machinations that the Senate should send it to a committee and consider amending it to add some vague protections against some things. Mike Johnson had voted for the bill and said, well, we really got to change this to make it better in certain ways. But the Senate apparently had no interest in doing any of that. And so Chuck Schumer? Chuck Schumer. I was like, it's not Shoemaker. Chuck Schumer just stood up in the Senate and said, hey, there's a bill that just passed the House. It actually hasn't gotten here yet. But
Let's
we
vote for it
all just
anyways."
agree that when it gets here, we'll say that we're in favor of it. Does anyone object? And then no one objected. So that's called unanimous consent in the Senate. Almost never, it happens occasionally, but not with important bills. But that happened, and poof, now in theory the bill is on its way to the White House.
Well, I've read today that it's been passed. It's been signed by Trump.
Has it been signed?
That's what
Yeah,
I
I
read.
hadn't read the news much today.
Yeah.
How exciting!
What times you live in. And it's
Yeah.
weird because for a long time they were all against releasing it, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden everyone fell in line.
Yeah, well, Trump will just arrange to not release any of the bad stuff that involves him or his friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't the law they just passed say you have to release it all?
Yeah, but the Attorney General gets to make some decisions. Like, you don't release anything that would name a victim, unless the victim has indicated they're okay with that. You don't release anything that would involve
I thought that was-
ongoing case.
I thought Higgins, the reason he voted no was for that reason, to protect the victims. But you're saying
Yeah, Higgins
Representative-
didn't have a good reason to vote no. That's why he said he was voting no, but it wasn't a good reason.
oh, because they would be protected anyways?
In theory, they would be protected. They're going to release a lot of information. From that information, it is possible and probable people will be able to figure stuff out about some of the victims, even if those victims don't want that stuff figured out. But that is sadly the way releasing large amounts of information tends to work.
So what should we expect in the Epstein files?
That's also a great question.
We got a bunch of emails. That was from not Congress. That was from the family.
The emails got released by the estate of Epstein, which presumably owns them after he passed away. They only released the emails from, I think, 2011 on. It's unclear if they have emails from earlier. They actually released those to Congress under a subpoena from a committee in the House. And then I think it was the House that actually allowed those to be released publicly. I don't know if the estate has just directly handed emails to the press, or if the estate said, well, we've already given these to Congress, we're going to give these to the press as well. I mean, there are a lot of interviews that the FBI has done with people who surrounded Epstein. They certainly have interviews with a lot of the victims. They probably have interviews with Epstein's former housekeepers and with Epstein's drivers, and they have a lot of Epstein's bank records, so they have probably talked to the people who Epstein worked with in the finance world. And you know, a lot of those interviews, I don't think the existence or contents of them have come out. This says, you know, all of that stuff should get released. The FBI, when they arrested Epstein in 17 or whatever, in the mid to late 2010s, searched his properties, and they went through his papers, and they probably confiscated an awful lot of stuff. I mean, there are the persistent rumors that he has black books full of names and dates of people he worked with, and the incriminating things that they did, which he could use to blackmail them if they didn't help him in his evil endeavors or his not evil endeavors.
Right.
The FBI has said, oh, we have all of his stuff, and there's nothing like that in there. Who knows? May or may not be true. I mean, he may not have needed to write all the stuff down. He could have just remembered it, or he might not have actually been that great of a blackmailer, and he might not have thought to collect a lot of incriminating stuff because people were willing to deal with him, even knowing how sketchy and icky he was.
How do we know if everything actually is released?
We will never know if everything is released, because nobody is going to actually trust the FBI or the Justice Department at this point.
Could a witness say, hey, I was interviewed and my interview is not here released?
I suspect, I don't know why a witness couldn't do that. I mean, a witness currently could do that. Now, the downside is if a witness then says, and I said I saw this guy do that, they have opened themselves up to a libel or defamation claim. Many of Epstein's current victims have said that the reason they have not talked with any specifics is because of the fear of future litigation or the fear of being sued for violating NDAs, or the fear of just not being believed because people might say, well, that's not true.
How can any NDA be enforced now? Because I guess Jeffrey Epstein's dead, so he can't enforce it.
He can't, but the NDAs could be with a company he had, and those companies may or may not still exist. Some of the people may not have worked directly for Epstein. They may have worked for people who were associates of Epstein. I mean, it's unknown. You know, there are rumors the FBI seized a bunch of videotapes from a safe of Epstein's that contain, you know, videos of people doing things that are crimes. The FBI has now said, oh, no, we didn't actually find any of that, even though we previously said we did find some of that.
Yeah.
That stuff would not be released if it actually was technically, you know, pornography or actual evidence of a crime against a child, because the U.S. government is not going to release that kind of material And I believe the law says that they shouldn't even release that kind of material.
Well, let's say they had this material and they couldn't release it or don't want to. Could they say, we have this tape that something happens
You
on?
would expect that they would release an evidence list.
Right.
And the evidence list would be something to the effect of, a tape with a video that appears to be 7 gentlemen doing the following things.
Right.
But the tape itself is not going to be released.
Okay.
I mean, there are some of their pictures of a lot of things. If the pictures have underage people in them, they're not going to get released. We keep seeing the same 10 clips of Trump and Epstein at public parties, dancing, pointing at girls. Those existed in public outside of anything the government seized. They came from entertainment shows or they came from other sources. There might be a lot more tapes like that would get released because there's nothing in particular on the tape that is a crime.
Yeah.
So who knows? In theory, they have 30 days from today, if he signed it today, for that material to be released, which I guess would be 6 days before Christmas.
Oh, wow.
So,
Merry
Merry frickin' Christmas, everybody.
Some people say that Epstein was not a pedophile because the people he took advantage of were like 15, not 8.
Yeah, people say that.
Yeah. I guess pedophile technically means
there's a difference
before
from a psychiatric, DMA point of view. There's considered a difference between people who are sexually attracted to prepubescent children versus people that are attracted to pubescent but underage children. Or also, people that are attracted to 80-year-olds. There's a word for that as well.
No.
From a psychiatric point of view, if you're attracted to people under the age of majority, but after puberty, it's allophobia or something. But from a legal point of view, it doesn't matter. 18 is the limit with some wiggle room for, some states have Romeo laws where an 18-year-old dating a 17-year-old is not a crime. Because a 17-year-old dating a 16-year-old we think is okay, and someday that 17-year-old is going to be 18, and that 16-year-old is going to be 17. We don't want to put people in prison because they're...
Well, they love putting people in prison.
They do enjoy putting a lot of people in prison, as it turns out. But from a legal point of view, there is almost no difference between
crime-wise
17 and a half and 5 and a half.
Oh.
I guess some states it's not 18, some states it's 16.
Yeah. That sounds like 14, isn't it?
You don't go there.
Okay. Don't go to that state.
People who know the age of consent in a lot of states are people you gotta wonder about.
Okay. Our next topic, James Comey. I hear it faintly.
Almost here, I can hear it.
He's
must be
struggling.
further
He's
away.
struggling.
I mean, the
Ben.
set's in a different spot tonight, so maybe the tree he's in is just further away now.
Yeah, over
So he
there.
lived. He lived.
All right. Who's this James Comey cat?
James Comey was director of the FBI, appointed by Obama in the early 2010s.
And they are traditionally directors of the FBI last
They
longer
have
than
10-year terms, unless your name is...
James Comey.
No. Who was the first director of the FBI? He was director
Herbert
for like
Hoover?
40. Yeah, Hoover. And then one guy got to serve for like 13 years. Summers?
Can you be renewed as many times as you?
No, technically it's only 10 years and get out.
10
And they picked 10 years because they were like, we want it to be long enough that you're not influenced by politics, but we don't want it to be Hoover, where you just amass power and start to blackmail the people above you.
So why is he being prosecuted?
Well, so he was director of the FBI, got appointed in 2013. He is a director of the FBI that very shortly before the election in 2016 released the information that, hey, we found maybe more emails of Hillary Clinton's that we got to investigate. Turns out they didn't find any more emails. They just found another laptop, had a different set of the same emails on it, and they looked through them all. They were all the same emails. At the same time, the FBI had been investigating the Trump campaign for the potential collusion with Russia, primarily focused on, at the time, Michael Flynn, who was at that time an unregistered lobbyist for the Russian government. Trump won the election. Flynn got made into the DSI, Director, the National Security Advisor, NSI. But he had to resign a few months later when it came out that he had been having meetings with members of the Russian government before the election and plausibly asking for their help in electing Donald Trump. Trump eventually said that he lost confidence in Comey because of the way he mishandled the Russia investigation. Namely, you shouldn't have investigated the Russia investigation. But also, Comey had, early in Trump's first term, he brought a lot of people to the White House, and Comey wrote that he had a almost private meeting with Trump in the White House where Trump kind of said, and you're going to be my FBI guy, right? You're going to, loyalty is what loyalty is. You're going to be loyal to me, the president. And Comey kind of said, I am loyal to the Constitution, and I have a duty to uphold. And Trump reportedly, lobbied or strongly insinuated that Comey should just drop the investigation of Michael Flynn. He's a nice guy. He didn't do anything wrong. We shouldn't investigate him. Comey did not drop that investigation. Mike Flynn eventually did get investigated and prosecuted and was sent to prison for a bit of time before having his sentence commuted, I believe. And that is probably much more likely the reason why Comey was fired or asked to resign by President Trump. Other FBI directors have
But why is
left.
he being prosecuted?
So he's being prosecuted because after he wrote some memo. Every time he met with Trump, he wrote memos because he said, when I meet with people, I write down what happens so I remember it. And one of those, and he told some of his friends about the things that had happened and people he worked with. One of those people reportedly released this memo where he talked about his meeting with Trump, where he suggested that Mike Flynn shouldn't be prosecuted, to a newspaper, I think the Wall Street Journal. And then the Wall Street Journal ran it, and some years later, Congress decided to call a hearing and find out how did the Wall Street Journal find out about this information. And they asked James Comey to put his hand up, and they asked him a lot of other questions about the Hillary emails and some other stuff. Comey is testifying to Congress under oath, and Comey said, I did not authorize anyone to release that memo. From the hearing, it is unclear what memo is being asked about. Could be a memo about the Russia investigation. It could have been a memo about Hillary's email. No one has any direct evidence that Comey authorized the release of this memo. He might have given it to McCabe, and McCabe could have just been released it in his own reconnaissance. Anyway, Comey testified to Congress. They are prosecuting him for lying to Congress, and since he lied to Congress, that made Congress's job harder, so they're prosecuting him for obstructing Congress in an investigation.
So we've got 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Tell me why the whole case is falling apart now.
Oh, because the attorney that they hired to do it after the first attorney tried to do it just did a colossally bad job because she does not know how to be an attorney for the United States of America.
Okay.
That would take another 20 minutes, apparently, to go through the crazy stuff she did. And we don't have that. We don't have that kind of time.
We don't have the time. We're out of time already.
We're
So,
like, I see credits.
credits are rolling.
Sydney is here.
And music's
Patty's
playing,
here.
and Patty, yeah.
John Vink is here.
That's it.
You got the right year and the copyright and everything.
Look at that.